Good night, people. Welcome to another TalkTruth series. It's always a wonderful time. I'm so happy that I've been back. It's a pleasure to be here with you another Saturday night. God no, you come like gonna really give me a Valentine's Day gift before Valentine's Day come because I'm actually happy to be here. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So just letting you know that tonight we have something special, something extravagant for you guys. We're actually getting into the mood of one of the most wonderful day in the calendar. Even though we're in quarantine, we have to give thanks that we have V-Day tomorrow, which is Valentine's Day tomorrow. We have to collect up with roses and collect up with things. And I know that we've always had the misconception that, well, me would have the misconception that Valentine's Day is mostly for the women. But tonight, we have with you, we're going to educate you how to really give or treat a man on Valentine's Day. So we are going to tell you how to do that thing to make your significant other feel so special on V-Day. And that V-Day is very, 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 very important. And tonight we have a guest with you to give his knowledge on the topic. We have with here. He's a host. He's a host. He's been here many times. I've enjoyed the show with him. And now we're going to have D Moon with us tonight. Hello, Mr. D Moon. How are you going on? What are you going on with?
Hey, what's going on, Lamarr? How are you this evening, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. And good night, Mr. Travis Sands. I hope you guys are having a wonderful night because tonight we have to give the ladies the secret on how to make us feel special on Valentine's Day.
Hey, I'm here for it. What about you, Travis?
Hey, I'm interested to see how this conversation goes. That's an interesting conversation.
Don't make too many of them mad, man.
Yeah, I want to start off with asking you guys each to just give me a little idea of what Valentine's Day mean to you guys. So I'm going to start with Mr. Devo.
They between two individuals. You got 5 days and 360. But Valentine's Day is more or less the end of that to me. And it's that final celebration, that final opportunity within the year to celebrate the love that the two of you all share between one another. And it's a two-way street. It's not just one where a man is given or a woman is given. Both parties are given and making an expression of their love. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, well said, well said. So Travis Sands.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Lamarr?
So what Valentine's Day mean to you? What Valentine's really mean to
you? Valentine's Day. It's I have mixed emotions about it because I feel like D said, when it comes down to Valentine's Day, we should be doing that 365 days of the year. Valentine's Day is, it's a little special. A lot of people, do a lot of extra stuff, but we expect surprises. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's really get into the nitty-gritty of Valentine's Day, because I know we've as men always like to plan. You want to really give that lady that big smile. We hardly really expect anything from the ladies. We normally be the one doing the extravagant because say you really extra special to the lady. Because if you forgot Valentine's Day, say you sleep on the couch from the day you decide you're not getting no gift. So, but what would you like, or first say, what would you expect from your significant other, your lady? What would you want her to give you on Valentine's Day?
Wow. D, are you gonna go ahead and take that, or you want me to take it? What are we doing?
I'll defer to you. You take it this time, and I'll go ahead.
On Valentine's Day, I would say, if I was, expecting, I don't really expect anything, to be honest with you, because I feel like if you don't give it to me on 365 days, I mean, that one day really is like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? I feel like, consistency works more for me. So that means, and I'm gonna be clean with this. That means that every moment that you get to show me Valentine's is the time that I'm looking for, and not just only on this day, but every day that you get the opportunity to actually do that. That's all I'm gonna say.
So you're saying that, so Valentine's Day, even though it's a day set aside, it's Valentine's Day is every day because we have to show love and compassion. And if it's not there, therefore you shouldn't be there. That's what you're saying?
Listen, I'm saying, and now listen, I'm gonna be the devil advocate situation. I'm gonna put it like this. I feel like Valentine's Day is a day to make up some stuff that you didn't do throughout the actual year. I feel like that's just something that I can talk about, because I feel like if you've already doing your job, all the rest of the other times, Valentine's Day is only for those people that actually don't do their job the rest of the time. But all I'm saying. The bigger.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I feel like the bigger the flowers, the bigger the gift, the bigger the stuff, the more you got a little worry about. Like why so much? And only on one day. What happened to the rest? That's all I'm saying. But go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, D's on you.
Travis, I had to pull out the peace pipe for you, man. You gonna start?
I see that. I see that.
But I will say, I agree with you. In a sense, I struggle with Valentine's a little bit simply because my birthday is the week after. So my birthday is actually February the 20th. So if my birthday February the 20th, I have to actually be kind on Valentine's Day and whatnot. And for me, I don't really expect a Valentine's gift, particularly week after. I'm always like, allow me to give to you. Let me celebrate you. You just take, more or less repay the favor or whatever, repay the love on my birthday. But anyway, theoretically speaking, man's perspective, I think that the biggest thing is, being cognizant of one another's love language or whatever. And being cognizant of one another's love language will give you a roadmap on what to do, as in, how to gift your, excuse me, how to gift your husband, significant other, or whomever. So if you know that his principal love language is physical touch, I mean, come on, you already know. Stop at Victoria's Secret and you do the rest. I mean, let's keep it PG-13. If his primary love language is acts of service, like mine is, just get up and make me breakfast or whatever. As a woman, this goes into what Travis was saying previously. These things should be done 365. Well, let's subtract 364 days per year. But on this one day, I like breakfast or whatever as act of whatever. Instead of just making breakfast and upstairs, make a special breakfast that you have for something that's nice and unique, and bring it to me upstairs or whatever, and do it as a surprise, like when I'm getting out of the shower or something to that effect. There's a multitude of different things that you can do. And, gift to me is not truly one that can be bought in the store, especially when you're talking about men. For women, it's kind of easier for them because you can buy a gift in the store. But for us men, it's more or less the thought that counts, and it can simply be something that can't be bought in the store. Hey, Travis, it looks like Lamarr had a technical difficulty and dropped off. So you and I can pitch back and forth on this. What are your thoughts on what I just said with respect to not being able to buy things in the store? Travis, your microphone is muted.
Okay, there we go. There we go. We're back. We're good. Can you hear
me? Yeah. I was saying that I like the fact that you guys brought up the whole love language thing, because I've always heard that men need to understand the love language of their lady. I've always heard that we need to learn to communicate in that love language. Do you feel like we get neglected in that era? Like people don't, like our spouse tend to neglect the fact that we speak different language, like they don't try to understand our language. Do you think we're neglected on that factor?
I would like to say, I guess D, go ahead. You want to go ahead, D? So we talking about love languages now.
Back and forth. You take a turn going first, I'll take a turn going first. I would say in a lot of cases, yes. There are very few things in life absolute. Besides death attack. But for the most part, I would say yeah. But again, that's not absolute. I believe it's all about making sure that you're bonded with the right person and that the two of you are equally yoked. If you're bonded with the right person and you two are equally yoked, you guys will balance one another out, and she will be cognizant and willing to, understand your love, how to communicate with you, and so on and so forth. But if you're bonded with the wrong one, absolutely not. But there's very few and far in between where you will actually get the one that cares. And part of the reason being is because a lot of women, well, some women or a great deal of women aren't emotionally mature enough to say, okay, I'm feeling in this weakness, I need to get better so that you can better receive me or whatever. It takes a very mature woman to acknowledge that, recognize that, and become, and it's not to throw shade at them because men are the same way. A lot of us are, but I would say that a smaller majority of us don't care to meet our woman where they need us versus them caring enough to meet us where we need them. If that makes sense.
I understand what you're saying. I understand that, and that's true. That's true. Your take on the matter, Travis?
Love language. I feel like there's a something that's being said about love languages. There's more of women speaks different than a man will understand. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it in as very, very as simple as can be. A woman can say the same exact words to you, but you may not understand exactly what she's saying. And as well as a man can say the same words to the woman, and she may not understand exactly what he's saying. And I've learned that once you take yourself out of yourself and actually take a moment to try to understand her language, as well as she also need to understand, because sometimes we are so stuck in our own understanding of something, because we're standing, and I've learned this recently. I've learned that you cannot assume that what you're saying is understood until you actually take a moment to clarify what you really mean. And sometimes, some people are like, oh no, I don't want to explain myself. But when it comes down to learning her and she's learning you, you got to make sure that y'all are speaking the same language. Y'all got to understand. And a lot of people don't want to actually take that time out to do so. If somebody loves you, because we're talking about Valentine's Day, if somebody loves you, then they would then do whatever it needs for them to understand your language. So if you speak in Spanish and I'm speaking English, and I love you and I'm attracted to you, I'm going to learn how to speak Spanish. And I hope that she learns how to speak English so that we can basically talk together. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and you know what I like with what you're saying is that I've been having conversation recently about how to be a speaker or to try to have a conversation on a whole. And I also have been saying that it's 50-50. So both the listener and the communicator have to meet each other at least halfway. So if I speak Spanish and you speak English, you learn half of the Spanish and I learn half of the English, and we mix it up and come up with our own little Spanglish, and we can communicate with each other.
There you go. There you go.
And if you think about it this way, you got to take a lot of ingredients to make a cake. You got to have eggs, milk, you got to have butter, you got to have the flour or whatever. You mix them all together and it tastes delicious. But you have to have the right balance of each to make it delicious. If one of them off, you add, let's say, 3 eggs and it only calls 1, then it's going to taste terrible. So relationships are like, they're like a cake. They have to be properly balanced for them to taste delicious.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at the comment section. I don't want anybody to feel left out. I'm actually enjoying this conversation, and I hope you guys are also enjoying the conversation. So guys, don't be afraid to ask any question. We're here to learn from each other. Don't be afraid to give your input. So Kemar Davis is saying, man, gift is always... Yes, and we can read it right there. We can read it right there. So we don't receive any gift.
Oh man, boy! Don't let me start, please. Please don't let me start. Listen. I'm about to. All right. So
before you start, let me know if I need to grab it. Do I need it?
Listen, you better grab it, because if you don't grab it, you know I'm about to take it somewhere else, right?
I'm about to start pumping. Go ahead.
All right, listen, guys. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this for all the guys on Valentine's Day. I'm gonna say it so that it's actually put. We need not to have the standard of Valentine's Day to be sex. That is the lowest standard you can ever set the bar. Like, we're not doing that. I'm not saying. Okay, hold on, calm down. We're not setting the bar that low, because as someone that she's receiving, you receive it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the bar. No, that's too low. And honestly, having okay, calm down. I'm gonna calm down. Having intercourse with anybody doesn't mean that's love. You know what I mean? That's just an action. That's just something that you do. So at the end of the day, if you're only speaking with your body, I know that me and you can't even talk. Like, we can't even communicate, because if you're only speaking with your body, then you really don't have. I really don't have your mind, and I don't have your soul. So that's a whole nother situation. But go ahead. Go ahead, D. Jump in, man. Jump in.
Well, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Listen, y'all bother me today. Y'all really hit me. Like, I'm all right. Go ahead.
I'm Puff Daddy tonight. I have to go stand up and do my Harlem Shake. But I absolutely agree with what Travis said about, it has to be more. It has to be beyond sex, and that is the lowest thing on the totem pole. The thing about Valentine's Day is, as I said it's a celebration of love. And, it's the finality of that year of love or whatever that you guys should have been showing throughout, or ladies should have been showing. And I'll add to what I said previously about cognizant of your man love languages. So, if, love language is quality time, and you generally don't watch, and he's a sports fanatic or whatever, and you typically don't watch the games or whatever with him, sit down, watch the game with him or whatever. Get him tickets to the soccer game or something to that effect. Something small but significant to him. It seems small to you, but it's significant to him. Actually, listen to him. Find out what his love language is. And every year, I always hear the question or see the question of from different women online or whatever, asking, do men want for Valentine's Day and so forth, Father's Day, birthdays and Christmases, the roadmap is already there. What is his love language, or what are his two love languages? So again, if it's quality time, get him tickets to the game. Go with him to the game. The tickets aren't just him and his homeboy. You should go with him. If it's acts of service, going back to what I said earlier, surprise special as he's getting out of the shower. If it's physical touch, hey, come on, Victoria, whatever. That's easy. Um, words of affirmation. If it's words of affirmation, instead of expecting him to, instead of just going to get him a card, get him a blank card and write in the card how much you love him, all the ways that you love him, and this, that, and the third. We as men don't really need anything that's particularly big. We just need genuine expression of love. So a card written out in your hand is enough for a lot. But again, you have to pay attention to us because we are very direct in what we like versus dislike. Put your own spin on it or whatever, saying, "Oh, well, he says he likes this, but I'm gonna get him this." No, we have told you, right? Don't get me tickets. Say anything about horse racing? Tickets to the soccer game. Us go together. Us have a good time. We can go to brunch or something after the soccer game, and then we can have sex time later.
I agree with you guys, because if you think about it, if Valentine's Day is our expression of love, our communication of love, if we're only offering our body as that only language, like only way to communicate love, then is that really love then? If that's the only way you can even speak about love.
Yeah, I totally agree. I see. Somebody's just leaving that actual standard up, right? Like, come on, man. Like, listen. Say birthday, Christmas, and Valentine's Day. Is that the only time? Listen, if that's the only time, bro.
Half the time, you can't even rap with a bow.
Listen. But I mean, honestly, guys, I totally agree that Valentine's Day is made for both people. I mean, that's the day that you can go a little more further. And I'm a type of person. I'm just to speak for myself that I've been married for a while. And I've learned that in any relationship that you be in, you have to not be comfortable. And I think Valentine's Day is just another day to show that I'm not comfortable with just doing the basics. Like I want to make sure that I continue to put a smile on your face, like you will also on my face. And then whatever it is that it takes, you know what I mean? That's what it would be. So for me being in a long distance relationship from high school all the way up to now I'm a grown man, I've learned the only way to build a relationship and the only way to actually have a healthy relationship is not just wait for one day to celebrate love, but do it every day and every day that you can, because at the end of the day, like tomorrow is not promised to anybody. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm waiting until tomorrow to celebrate you in love, then and I don't make it, how would you feel? You get what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I really agree. But I want to ask an important question. Who would more likely leave a relationship if they don't receive a gift on Valentine's Day?
Ooh, Lord Jesus.
Wait a minute. I mean, us, we might be rated, but we're not going. But we're not going to the alarm cause any waves or anything to that effect. And I'm not going to say every woman is going to ring the alarm either, but some will, some won't. But a woman is definitely more inclined to a relationship if she doesn't receive anything. But to give credence to everything that Travis said about, if a woman is feeling love throughout the entire year, she's not really going to make a big stink on Valentine or because you feel love. But if you are not your love throughout the year, and then on Valentine's Day you still don't show it, oh yeah, she's gone. Or unless she has unless Stockholm syndrome or something to that effect, or is being or low self-esteem. But generally speaking, yeah, women are definitely more inclined to leave a relationship where they've been forgotten. Valentine's Day really big for them, or tends to be.
Another reason why she wouldn't leave, maybe she's just a yammed, as what Jamaicans would call her, like a big yammed, because she just love put up with the foolishness, basically.
Okay. I have a little different outcome of that. I feel that the only person that will leave a relationship is a girl or a boy. Because if you're a man or a woman, you would not leave a relationship over materialistic things. If you are a girl or a boy, you will leave because a boy would catch a tantrum as a little girl would have a fit. If you are a man and you are a woman in a relationship, you would not leave. You would not leave a relationship. And honestly, listen. I'm going to be real honest with y'all. I believe that Valentine's Day should be after Valentine's Day because, baby, I can buy you twice as much of stuff on half price. You can have whatever you like. I can be T.I. on February 15th. When you walk in there, baby, you can have whatever you like. And as a man, you listen. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like if you love me, you know that I like to save money. I like to make sure that at the end of the day, like, you can have whatever you like on a half price. I'm not gonna spend. Listen, how is that showing love if I'm spending 100%? Listen, I don't. Okay, hold on. Listen. Okay, hold on. Calm down. I'm gonna say this because I gotta move on with this. Listen, if I don't buy it on November 14th, and if I buy it for 100%, listen, why would I spend 100% of something that's the next day gonna be 50%? Like, think about that. Like, how financially smart are you? How much do you truly care about our future if you're gonna say, if I don't give it to you on the 14th, that you don't want it? Listen, the 15th is right a couple of hours away. And I can buy twice as much of stuff for the half the price. Who win? We both win. Like, baby, we win together because at the end of the day, whatever you wanted, you got two of them. Mm-hmm. That's just my mind. I don't know. I'm just saying, if y'all want to hear the truth, like, at the end of the day, girls and boys may operate a different way. You know what I mean? They want to give it to you on the 14th or the 15th. And honestly, really, when it comes down to Valentine's Day as a man and a woman situation, like, they won't even have to buy materialistic stuff. Like, they will actually go ahead and do something intimate in that time. And it don't have to be sex that they're looking at, but it can be the intimate, paying up the slow attention to do what you need to do. So with that being said, like, that's just my understanding of, Valentine's Day is just taking a moment to be very attentive to that person that you're with, period. Just saying.
I agree with you, Travis. It looks like we have another technical issue, but that's fine. Question for you. So you said that you like to save money or whatever. So do you actually coupon? Do you collect coupons and everything?
Listen, if I had the time to coupon, I would be couponing. I promise you, like, couponing to me is like a job by itself. So if honestly, if I had the time to coupon, I would love to coupon. Listen, if my wife started coupon, listen, that's attractive to me because you saving money for our future. So at the end of the day, like, I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
I'm with it.
You're speaking the truth still. Yeah, you're just speaking the truth.
Just said.
Yes, sir. I'm with it, and I'm with it.
Hey.
I love what you said about you can be like T.I. and have whatever you like. But man, listen, I'm running out of peace in my pipe. I'm gonna need you to stop.
Listen, man, we talking about it, man. Listen, hey, we say we're gonna be truthful, right? We gonna talk. We gonna be real with it, right? So let's be real with it. Like, to be honest with you, a lot of people build relationships for the now, and that's the problem that we have. It. You have to build a relationship for the future. Like, build something that's gonna last for a long time. if me buying you a Valentine's gift on the day of Valentine's Day and to spend 100%, and then tomorrow I'm broke. Who, like, how does that make sense? I can't feed you tomorrow. Like, I can't feed you tomorrow because I spent Valentine's Day 100% of the price. But how about if we wait for the next day, baby, and I can give you everything you wanted and buy you dinner? What are we talking about?
But you know what though? You know what's funny though? Lamarr think he's slick. He's been putting us on the hot seat and asking us all these questions and having. So let's back. Lamarr, answer your own question. This ain't fair.
All right. So, what question you want to ask me again?
So, what are your thoughts on Valentine's Day and doing it on the day after instead of the day of?
I've always think that me personally, I always say material things isn't as important. So I once had a story or a plan in mind that one day, even on her birthday or Valentine's Day or any day, would spend time in the couch just eating crackers and cheese for the entire day. So I'm not saying everybody has their own thing, but me personally don't believe that significantly large gift on that day makes it any more special than any other day, giving you my love and care any other day. It's just that the world has this standard created for us to demonstrate love on this special day. But then again, if we're in a relationship, we're inside our own box, so we don't have to allow the world to contaminate that box that we're in.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I love it. Travis, you want to throw a question at Lamarr?
Oh, Lamarr. First off, how old are you, and when was your longest relationship? And with that said, do you believe the concept of loving 365 days of the year, or do you actually believe, like, what is your goal for your actual relationship? I asked you like 3 or 4 different questions in one. Go ahead.
So to answer the first question, I'm actually a baby. I'm just 19 years old. I just turned 19 January 20th.
Okay. All right.
To be honest, I haven't been in a long relationship. I don't know. I just haven't been in one. But I've been thinking about my future because in the end, even if it doesn't happen now, I'm actually turning an adult. And I'm by age, I'm an adult in Jamaica, but still being an adult is much more for me. So that's a part of the plan. So the entire plan of getting into the marriage thing, one, I know that I've been learning from my brother who is at it. I'm learning from my parents. So I know that communication is key. So I know that I know communication. I know that there are certain little things that females, like women on a whole, dislike about us. And I'm also working on my bad habits so it doesn't contaminate or affect the person in any way, because even if you're dating someone, living with them is like two worlds clashing. So also I'm learning how to adapt to different situations. So I can't say definitely there's a perfect blueprint because it all depends on who you end up with. So each person would have a different requirement. So you can't really fully plan detail to detail what the relationship is going to be like until you basically meet the person. And I know that in our marriage, every day is basically a learning day. So every day you learn and improve.
I love what you said there about every day being a learning experience. That is absolutely spot on, and it shows that you're mature beyond, that you're wise beyond. Okay, me and Travis are gonna shut up now, and we're gonna get the floor back to you.
Yeah. So since you guys clearly have the upper hand in experience when it comes to that, what is some of the challenges when it comes to Valentine's Day? What are some of your fears or something you try to prevent on that day?
Start. I'll say one of my challenges is or I won't. I shouldn't. I'm sorry. Did you say my challenge or did you say our challenges?
Or you guys, because I want to get the two different perspectives.
For me, it doesn't get too difficult because I'm a creative. I'm a dreamer. And me being a creative and a dreamer, things just come to mind. I'm very random. And I'm very random in everything, like the way I talk, the way I think, the way I communicate, the way I give, and so on and so forth. And then I just do things. They come to mind or whatever. So there really isn't an issue for me as in giving. The biggest be, how I would say the biggest challenge is how to get there, how to complete the dream. And I was, that might be because let's just say theoretically, I won't take you to Jamaica. Well, we really can't. Travel restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
But what I could do is look up, the architectural diagrams of the island, and I can make them. I can make them in the backyard or something like. I could create tickets or whatever, just draw them out on paper, or I could make them on my computer or whatever. We could both sit in chairs and act like we're flying or whatever, and then we could just slide into the backyard or whatever. Just being creative or whatever. So there's no real struggle. Like I said, the struggle is, how do I get there? But generally speaking, I would say that for men in general, it's the thing of lack of creativity and trying to not make the mistake of getting the same thing year after year after year. So to throw one of my sisters under the bus, because she would complain, she would really complain, but she told me and I laughed. She said that every year her ex-husband got her the same candy year after year after year. And it was Russell Stover's assorted candies. She said he hate this candy. I've told him so many times I hate this candy, and he keeps on buying it year after year after year. I don't know why he doesn't listen to me. He just keeps buying the candy. She said at first she would just go ahead and smile and say thank you, give him a hug and a kiss or whatever. And she said no. After year 5, she's like, okay, I'm tired of being nice. She said, put it on the counter and said, thanks. Then she said eventually, as he got older, she said, man, forget it. She just threw it in the trash, whatever. She's like, and wouldn't say anything. So I would say, the biggest issue is, generally speaking, for men, is trying to keep creativity, trying to be that, and then also too for trying to top what they did previously. So generally speaking, let's say your first year wedding, parents can probably speak to better than I. But first year wedding anniversary, coming up for Valentine's Day, you take her to Paris. Second year, Rio de Janeiro. Third Valentine's Day, you try and take her to Disney World. She might be looking at you crazy, like, well, why are we going to Disney World instead of we went to Paris and Rio de Janeiro? What about Australia, whatever? Well, baby, I ain't got the money for that, and I ain't really feeling you like that. So we going to see Mickey Mouse and Goofy this year. So I would say that generally ends up being one of our bigger struggles. Travis?
I would say basically one of my not really a struggle for me, but it's more of because I'm in Miami, Florida. So if you don't know how Miami, Florida works, it's like one person likes something and oh my God, that's so beautiful, blah blah blah. You got to make sure that whatever you do, your wife is special. She feels special. You have to assure her, on Valentine's Day or whatever day it is that you love her, because there's people that will promote their positivity, their positive relationship in front of people. So they go buy they significant other all this beautiful stuff, and for showing everybody, oh yeah, it's beautiful, da da da. And then your wife or your girlfriend, whoever you dated, goes home with empty hands. In her mind, she may have a little insides or whatever, but you have to reassure her that regardless of if that person getting the biggest flowers or the biggest candy or whatever it is, that may not mean nothing. What we have is what we have, and that's what you got to always keep in mind, is that you have to make sure every year that you don't fall into the trap of what Valentine does. Valentine's is like almost like a bullying holiday, because if you don't do something, everybody like, oh, what do you do for you? Because the girls they gonna talk. What do you do for you? What do you do? And you like, oh, he ain't do nothing for me. Oh, you know what I mean? You know how they go. Yeah, but I went on a nice restaurant, But then guess what happened? Those same people that brags about Valentine's Day and brag about what went on or whatever, end up breaking up in a couple of months. You be like, dang, like I guess what that rainbow wasn't so beautiful after all. So that's where you gotta be real. Like honestly, that's the realest thing, is basically being real and having a standard of like, yo, I love you, and I don't have to show you the biggest flowers to show that. Like, you should know by what we're trying to build what's more important to us. Period.
Mm-hmm. So give me a second. I'm going to log out of my phone right now because it's dying, and actually log on with my laptop. So you guys can continue the conversation. Give us some tips on what Valentine's Day is like.
Okay.
Like,
okay. We got it. We'll see you in a few. So, Travis, I would say that I agree with everything that you said. I am extremely familiar with Miami, and it's a pissing contest. More, it's like who's got the your man only got you 12 a dozen roses, child. Mine got me 2 dozen. Oh, girl, your man ain't about nothing. Mine got me 3 dozen or whatever. And that is also superficial. I don't really believe that it should be about a pissing contest between anyone, between men or women. It should simply be the expression of love. And do you feel appreciated? And that's really what should matter at the end of the day. Or do you feel loved? Did you feel loved in that very moment? I cannot think of a single Valentine's gift I have ever received. I know I've received them beyond just sex, but I just can't remember them. It's really not a thing for me. And I think the other issue too is the fact that I'm a giver versus a receiver. So I'm not really going to remember gifts received as much. I'm going to remember more or less what I gave and what your reaction was to me in that regard. And, also too, going back to the point of what you made earlier, about them receiving these big extravagant gift, going to this restaurant or whatever. I'm sorry, not this huge restaurant, this expensive restaurant or whatever, and them, flaunting it and bragging about it and so on and so forth, and breaking up a few months later. The issue was that, in those cases, a lot of the times those relationships were surface level. And with them being surface level, there was really no foundation there. And, they were more in love with, what the person was giving and bringing to the table versus what the person was and who they really were. So, I cannot remember the exact scripture, but it's about the house built on sand. It's about the house is basically where Jesus was given the parable built on sand. And when the storm, I believe that happened at the time of Valentine's Day. So you have one relationship that's built on a solid foundation of a rock. And in those relationships, it may don't have to necessarily do big or whatever for the man or the woman to feel loved. But then you had that other relationship where it's built on sand. And if you don't go all out for Valentine's Day, that's basically causation for divorce or causation for breakups or whatever, because that house and that relationship. So I agree 100% with what you said. And, at the end of the day, my big thing is, one other point that you made too is that, Valentine's Day is a makeup for what you haven't been doing the rest of the year. So my big thing is, is if you're not feeling loved throughout the year and you're looking forward to Valentine's Day to really get that gift of love or whatever that you've desperately been seeking, you need to ask yourself, are you really getting what you want and what you really need out of a relationship? And if you are waiting and totally dependent on that date to feel love, you need to cut bait, because that relationship isn't for you.
Basically. So I'm gonna spice it up a little bit. Go ahead, Lamarr.
I was just saying, before we even add the spice, let's just pause for a little comedy. We're just going to pause for a little bit of comedy. You know, you want to bust a little laughter, and then we'll get spicy in here.
All right.
That time, most of them me alone. Most other man want to put on curfew by Valentine days. I really love that too. Yes, I'm not really love that. Because I'm not a woman for sit down with Valentine days and give them money, man, buy them a ice cream and a cake. Yes, and a sweetie. I'm must up for people. Bro God. I want to see if we could put on early curfew by 1 o'clock for Valentine days. Because I'm alone as a man want to put on Valentine days early by 1 o'clock. We have the money and most of we have a woman. If we carry the woman then go out for Valentine days and treat them. I ask you, please, bro God, put on a early curfew. I don't know if we could put it on either with a 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Just put on a
Say pro curfew. Oh, that man say pro curfew. Oh, man said, they have a curfew large.
So you asking worried God with the curfew earlier just in case, because him not have nobody to carry out or nothing.
There we go, curfew. Like what? Okay. Well, we have a curfew on Valentine's Day, I guess. Hey, that'll work. That'll work. Whew. That was funny. So where we going? Come on.
So I want to ask a question. What would you say to the men who have the same sentiment? Like they genuinely have nobody to carry out, nobody to even spend the day with, even if they don't have any money. So how would you tell a guy like it's okay to be single on Valentine's Day?
I would say, listen, Valentine's Day is for love, right? So typically, my biggest thing that I've always talked about is about self-love. You know what I mean? Before you attract a woman, you gotta first love yourself first. And my thing is, listen, I would say this: if I was single and it was Valentine's Day, I would get fresh. I would get so fresh. I would walk out Valentine's Day like I'm going on a date, and I would go and just meet and just vibe and have fun. And they were like, "Man, I want to be where you at." I'm like, "Listen," and I'm saying like, so my thing is, and I'll say this because it's like almost like law of attraction that I always talk about. It's like you cannot get something if you're not that. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be loved, you gotta represent love. You know what I mean? If you want whatever you want, if you want to be successful, you gotta be successful so that you can attract somebody that's successful. So literally, like you have to be careful on what you're trying to attract. Period.
I agree with everything you said, Travis. I wish I was first because you stole my answer. You basically spoke for me.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
But to piggyback off of that, I absolutely agree with what you said about, self-love. You shouldn't be worried about, having to love on someone. Love on yourself. And, go beyond that. I mean, most of us have mothers. A lot of us have sisters. Love on your mother. Love on your sister. Take that opportunity of singleness to go pick your mom up and show her some love or whatever. And you should be doing that whether you're single or not. Whether you're single or not. If you know that there's a widow in the neighborhood or whatever, show her some love. Go take her some flowers or whatever. Take her out for brunch or whatever if you can afford it. As Travis said, love on yourself. Put on a nice outfit or whatever. Get yourself fresh. Man, you can take. Sorry, I bit my tongue. You can take yourself out to eat, whatever. You can take yourself out and do something. Do something that you enjoy. That you hate. done before or whatever, or something that you would like to do with someone, do that with yourself. And you know, there's nothing wrong with going to a movie by yourself. There's nothing wrong with going to a park by yourself. There's nothing wrong with going to have a picnic by yourself. There's nothing wrong with whatever by yourself. Love someone, love on yourself if you have it to give. And you know, the frustration comes in that where we have all of this love in our heart and we don't have anyone to give it to, and that's where we get frustrated, lonely, and depressed, whatever. No. Put that love out somewhere in the atmosphere by loving on yourself or loving on someone else. And by doing so, as Travis said, feeding into the law of attraction, it will come back to you. And it won't necessarily come back to you on February 15th, but let's jump ahead to February 14th, 2022, and that love may just be there, or it may take it till 2023 or 2024. Who cares? Just keep putting it out there in the atmosphere, and it will eventually come around back to you.
You know, I agree with your statement. You know, also, would you say that if a person cannot enjoy singleness, that they're not ready for a relationship? If they cannot enjoy their own company, would you say they're ready for a relationship?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you know, I'm a introvert, so I love my time alone. Please leave me alone. Quiet time. Give me a day. Give me a week. I'm happy either way. Don't call me. Don't text me. Just leave me alone. I love my own company, and so with me loving my own company, you know, that ties into self-love and things of that nature. I'm funny to myself. I amuse myself, have fun with myself. so you have to be able to do that. You have to be whole. If you're not whole internally, you cannot be whole or what another person needs you to be. If anything, you're going to be a harbinger around their neck, sorry, around their neck or around their ankle otherwise.
Be careful, B.
I mean, for me, I would actually say the same thing for D. Like, I mean, I totally agree that if you can't really like, if you can't spend time with yourself and you really have a problem with being alone, that's a clingy spirit. You know what I mean? That's one of those spirits that is very toxic. You know what I mean? And you don't never want somebody that's depending on love from you to actually like be happy. Because if somebody's depending for you to love them, and this is we talking about Valentine's Day as well, if you're looking for me to love you, and you're not loving yourself, that then drains the other person. So how can I have more energy in loving you or having that risk? You know what I mean? Like, how can I do other things if I'm just busy loving you? Like, yeah, I can love you, but you have to love yourself. I am your helpmate as you know what I mean? So let's talk about, like, at the day we are helping one another. I am not carrying you because I am not I am not God. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, like, you know, I want you to understand that you have to have God in your life. God has to be your first love. God has to be the one that gives you the source of everything. And then if you can love God, I know you can love me. And that's the biggest thing I've always said. So like, if you can love him, you can get your source of love from him. And I am going to be that, you know what I mean? Like that overflow. There we go. I'm looking for the word. I'm going to be that overflow that then carries on into everything else around you. So when we have kids, that overflow will actually touch our kids. You know what I mean? That love will overflow everything that we touch and everything that we actually build together. So when it comes down to if you cannot be by yourself, then you need to really like reach out and spiritually get yourself in order. Period.
Well said. Well said. And you know, if you look at it, a relationship should be 100%, 100%. And if you lack that self-love, you basically come in with 50%. So basically, the relationship lack the other 50%. So we don't know how we are gonna get it if it's missing, because the other person if they love you enough, they will try to fill that 50%. But then again, there's nobody can actually give more than all of them, which is 100%.
Period. I totally agree.
What can make you qualify to get a nice lady for next year Valentine's Day? That's an interesting question, Mr. Davis.
Okay. We qualify to get it next year. Wow. What qualifies you? I mean, listen. I don't know where is he from? Because typically, if you look at statistics shows that we have more women than men. So with that being said, it all depends on your standard of women. Who, like, you know what I mean? If you want a quality woman, and listen, I say this, and I tell people this, like, if you go to the bar or whatever like that, you're gonna find women in the bar. They may not be qualified, they may not be quality, but there's women there. If you go to a business establishment, you may have a woman there that may have, what you're looking for. If you go to listen, I say, if you want to shop, you don't shop at a dollar store looking for something expensive. Like, it's like the quality of what you're shopping for. It all depends on what store you're going to. So my thing is, if you want to shop for some quality, you got to go to where the quality is. Maybe you have to go to a store that sells quality things. You have to operate in the quality instead of operate yourself in a dollar store. That's how I feel about it.
I agree.
So yeah,
I agree with what you said, Travis. But I'll also do, this goes back to what we were saying earlier about, working on yourself and, working on yourself and managing your own energy. And you will get back, what you put into the universe. And, if you be a quality man, you'll receive a quality woman. If you give quality gifts and you give gifts from the heart, you will are more inclined to receive gifts from the heart. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you will receive them from your spouse, but you will receive them from somewhere else, or someone else. Gift your sibling. If you got siblings, make sure you orders. If you have the gifty widow, there are a lot of nursing homes or whatever. Go up to the nursing home and to the women up there, but if you do these things and put that good energy and those good vibes into the universe, they will be returned to you. God will ensure that those things are returned to you. In some cases, it may be here on earth. In other cases, it's going to be up in heaven. But for me, myself personally, I'd rather receive my gifts in heaven any day than I would down on earth, because the things that are given on earth pass away. But what's given in heaven is eternal. I would also say, don't put limits on yourself. Don't put time frames or things. I mean, Lamarr, he said that he's 19 or whatever. He got his whole life ahead of him. He shouldn't be saying, oh, by 21, I want to be married. I want to have a nice married. By 29, I want to start having children. By 33, I want to be a project manager. By 38, I want to have my own resort. You kind of want to do these things because, it goes into vision board. So with vision boarding, you just want to map out a path or whatever that you want to, but you don't put limits on that path. You simply, as you're building out this vision board, you say, these are the things that I want, but you don't put time constraints on them. If you do put time constraints on them, you make them wide reaching. So you make them 5, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or whatever. And that allows you a lot of flexibility. When you start putting tight restrictions on things, that's when you start finding yourself with frustration eventually, and so on and so forth. Don't put those limits on yourself. Don't put limits on love or anything in life. Just simply enjoy the ride. And you say, I X amount of time, I hope to do this or whatever. So I wouldn't be looking towards, finding a quality man or a quality woman by next Valentine's Day. I wouldn't be looking forward to, getting this nice extravagant gift, at next year, whatever. Just simply look forward to living life, being blessed to see another day, and hoping that you can find the person that you can spend that time with in time. That next year, the year after that, the year after that, or so on and so forth. So again, to go back to how do you find that quality man or woman or whatever for next Valentine's Day, you find it by what you do every day for 2015. The 14th, 15th, start putting that love out there in the air. And you have to do it with a willing and giving heart, with expecting nothing in return. You give
that is true. I agree.
do it expecting something in return, you will never get back what you want from the universe.
I agree 100%. 100%. It was well said. It was well said. So, Mr. Travis, we weren't hearing you properly. I just want you to repeat that point that you made earlier.
I mean, as D said the same thing, but it's like basically what I was saying was basically D said it just the same way, but I say the same way that I said it before. I said if you're looking for a quality woman or man or whatever it is, I mean, you need not to shop in the dollar store. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, when I say shopping in a dollar store, it's almost like a metaphor saying that for you to find quality, you have to go to a more advanced place. You know what I mean? You can't sit here and go to the dollar store looking in the quality out. Like where's the quality out? Everything in the dollar store, everything in the bar is probably like they're basic. You know what I mean? They're at the average. And if you just want somebody for the time being, the dollar store, the bar, that's fine for you. But if you're looking for somebody that you want to build with, somebody that you can spend a little more time with, you need to go to that environment. And honestly, like D said, you have to start with what you do. Like literally, you cannot be a dollar going to a $100 store. You know that you can't afford nothing there. Like honestly, I'm gonna say that again so you can catch it. You cannot be a dollar. You cannot be 50 cents and go to a $10,000 place and just look. They would not even. They're gonna throw you out, like literally, because you don't even fit. So that means if you're going to actually get somebody that's quality, you would have to be the quality person for yourself. Like that's all I'm saying. Like if you want what you want, you gotta look like you what you want. Like, bro, it's not gonna happen. Like, everybody know that. It's true. Like that's what it is. Like, listen, bro. I'm telling you, that's just what it is. Like, all right, I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying. Just being real. That's how we being real, right? I mean,
Oh man,
yeah, it's actually true still, you know. You have to be quality.
Listen, that's funny, man. But no, that's real, man. That's what it's about. It's all about self-love, guys. I mean, to be honest with you, it's about self-love. And I promise you, bro, you're a dollar, bro. Listen, people don't church. The thing about this, think about it, bro. You don't got it. It's not gonna happen. I mean, you. Okay, I'm done. I won't say no more. Go ahead. We go pass on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm like.
No. That's actually true still, you know. A lot of people, what I agree with you, a lot of people say we want quality, but yes, I heard a statement recently over the Christmas that somebody said people have demands, but they're not in demand.
Oh,
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, I think a lot of people have the misconception of going into the relationship about getting, but we don't even analyze about what we can give.
Oh, he reading. He talking at the same time. Okay. Buy Gucci. Oh my God! Like they still on that store thing, right? Like, listen.
You can't make it. And you couldn't have said it better. That's so true still.
I mean, listen. I mean, that, and I honestly, guys, like I always tell people, and Lamarr, you said something that I wanted to piggyback off of, right? The whole being in demand situation. Now, I say this because it is so true. People like myself, and I'm just only speaking for me. I don't lack for anything because of who I am, I built myself to be who I am. So literally, like, you ask, why do I have so much abundance of this stuff or the situation, is because of I built myself to be where I am. So literally, like, for somebody, like, honestly, some of the abundance that I have, I be want to give it to other people, but because they're not at my level or they're not at my my caliber, it's like dang, like I can't give you nobody that's even worth you even having. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a situation out here. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, there's a situation out here. There are men that's and women that's at a certain caliber, and they can't have them all. They're trying to give it to somebody else, but it's nobody to pass the torch to, because everybody down there doing something that they're not supposed to be doing instead of building themselves. So what I'm really big about is you self-loving yourself. And if you self-love yourself, listen, there's so much abundance of all the stuff that you want. It's almost like asking for money. It's like this. Money will attract money. Love will attract love. But if you're not having none of it, you're going to always be broke and you're going to always be unloved. I mean, it's exactly what it is. And you're going to be continue to ask for it instead of actually getting it for yourself. That's all I'm saying.
I should play around so we can take love off of brother.
No, man, I'm just saying. I'm done. Go ahead. I'm just saying.
Man, you preaching and amen.
You know, oh man, but go ahead, man. Go ahead. Y'all mess, man. Listen, man. I'm just enjoying having a conversation with y'all, man. I mean, my thing is, if you actually tell the truth, you'll be fine. Like, just tell people the truth. Like, if you want to be successful, all you gotta do is love yourself. That's it. But
I want to ask. I want to ask an important question. Sorry to interrupt, but it just came to me. You said something about passing the torch to somebody who isn't on your level, but I've heard about situation that I've heard a statement, and I've seen it in some cases, that more likely a man would take up a woman and build her up than a woman take up a man and build him up. What's your standpoint on that statement?
You know what? That used to be true. That used to be true. But let me tell you, the world is changing. It is really changing, and I promise you, that's not happening no more. I mean, honestly, there is, and honestly, when somebody do stuff like that, somebody paying for something, and it's probably what is, you know, it's a situation behind that. But I'm telling you that used to be a thing back in the days where you're basically, you know, trying to bring that person up with you. But the world is changing, and if you're sitting there relying on somebody to save you, oh, you're gonna be stuck where you at forever. So literally, like, a lot of people will find somebody that got potential, but now, why would I get somebody that got potential, but somebody that's already there? Like, what? Why would that benefit me?
I agree with what you said, Travis. But you know, there is always a diamond in the rough. There's always a ram in the bush. Always an outlier, and you know, I'll answer that sharing a story. So I was in college, and between my sophomore and junior year of college, and my entire world blew up, and I lost everything, and I lost everything during the span of a week. Lost my house, flunked out of school, lost my job, lost both cars. Both cars. Week. And I had to return back home to go live with my grandmother. And I slipped into a deep state of depression as a result of everything that occurred then. And I had a friend, I'll shout her out, Melissa Graham. Um, and she and I, our freshman year at A&T, we were in the same English class. And when she heard that I was back in town, she visited me or whatever, and she listened to my story or whatever. She was very empathetic with what was going on. Understood that I was in depression or whatever. She was like, "I'm not going to let you stay. I'm going to help build you back up." So this was like, I would come by almost every other day to get me out of the house, and also eating, just watch TV. You have to get out of this house and do something. And she would pick me up and a lot of the times take class with her. And she would class with her because her theme was, you need to get yourself back into this environment and into this mindset, out of that mindset of defeat. You need to get out of that mindset of cannot rise again or whatever. And you have the potential to do so much more than just sitting in this house, isn't it? So eventually Melissa helped me get back on my feet by helping me get another job. Took me to interviews and things of that nature. And I ended up working for about 2 years before I went back to finish up undergrad. So after that first year, Melissa was, you're not making enough money job or whatever. I want to say I was making about $20,000 a year. And Travis, they ain't enough to take care of anybody, particularly as with a family or whatever. But I mean, I didn't have a family at the time, but if I was making $22,000 a year, that would basically be being poverty or whatever. And she would say, "You're too smart for this. You need to get yourself back in school. You're capable of so much more," and so on and so forth. And I wasn't trying to hear her. And I would say, "Man, go on, go on, go on." And she's like, "You really need to get back in school." And I finally said to her, "If you're so concerned with me getting back in school, why don't you go get me back?
Wow.
Why don't you figure out what it takes to get me re-enrolled? I told you I flunked out. I get back in." And she said, "Yes, you can. Your GPA is not that low. You flunked out, but your GPA is not that low to where you were absolutely kicked out of school. You just need to find out what the plan is or figure out a plan to get you back in school." My GPA was 2.6. I had to have a 3.0. So obviously, but I had flunked out. So anyway, she said, okay. She went there to the registrar's office, found out everything that I needed to, submit a application for re-enrollment, re-acceptance, or whatever. She came back, brought it to me, and said, "This is what I need. I need this, and this." And I said, "Okay." And she said, "Give it to me." And I said, "All right, fine." I gave it to her. The girl went back up to the school, came back and said, "This is the plan that they laid out for you. These are your requirements for you to be able to get back in school. I am going to help you develop the plan to get yourself there, and you're going to finish up school." I laughed and said, "Yeah, right." I didn't think she was really going to go through with all this stuff. I'd be damned. Yes, she did. So she and I sat down, developed the plan, and part of that plan was that I had to pay for my junior year by myself. So I had to save up the money and everything that I needed to be able to pay for my junior year. And I was on academic probation when I returned because my GPA had to be up above a 3.0. Well, I ended up graduating with honors. So by graduating with my undergrad with a 3.25 GPA. So I back in a years. So had it not been for her efforts, who knows where I would be today. But she absolutely did build me up and help me get back to where I was before. And I am an outcome of who I am of her efforts. So she deserves the roses, what she did on that day. We're talking about 2003, somewhere around there. So it's been a long time. But she was that ram of the bush. And I say she was that ram of the bush because God had a different plan for me. He used her as the ram to redirect my path.
I'm glad. Listen, and I'm glad you said that. That was awesome, man. You know what I mean? And I totally agree. Like there's people that's assigned to your life to actually help you in a way they can help you. But we talking about on top of like, you know, those young people that try to come in, this is, and thinking that they're gonna get a sugar daddy or a sugar baby. That's a whole other situation. But with that being said, like, yeah, no, I totally understand. Like there's always people that's going to be in your life, that's gonna assign to help you in the season that they need to help you in. I totally agree with that.
Absolutely. And the thing with sugar daddies or sugar mamas, they don't last for long. They're only there for a season. But they'll be there throughout the season. They'll be about a lifetime. So Melissa and I are still friends to this day. We and I didn't get engaged. We're supposed to get married, things didn't, but that's irrelevant because we have a 3-year friendship, and that friendship superseded the relationship that she and I, my ex-fiance, I referred to her, and she referred to me as the same way. And yeah, she was very much my ram in the bush when I needed it. Probably needed.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Lamarr.
I mean, that's a wonderful story. I am mesmerized. That story is maybe very unique. I've hardly heard a story of it like that, and it's always that we have to give God thanks because sometimes we're in our low and we think there is no way out, and God already have that ram in the bush. So you see, that was your experience to really turn your life around. Maybe if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even know you right now. We wouldn't be having a conversation right now. So we have to give thanks.
Absolutely.
And to close tonight off with a wonderful, wonderful note on that, I want to know if you guys have any tips for future people in relationship, going into relationship, or even single people that who have the plan in their head, but the person just haven't come as yet. What would you say about Valentine's and about relationships on a whole?
The biggest thing that I is to well, with marriage. Let's break it down. With marriage, think about it this way: imagine a person you hate, and then after you imagine hate, imagine having to lay down beside that person every day and love them anyway. If you could sit down and say, I'm going to choose to love on them anyway, despite the fact that I hate them, you're going to be prepared for marriage, or you're prepared to marry that person. If you can't imagine yourself hating them, you're not really truly prepared to marry. And the reason why I say that is because marriages go through seasons. You'll go through seasons where you're lovey-dovey. You'll go through seasons where things are lukewarm. And you go through seasons of tribulation. The Bible says, for better or worse, until death do us part, and so on and so forth. And we're not talking about cheating or whatever. We're not talking about, abuse or anything like that, but just different things that irk you. You have to be able to spend the time with that person and love them in spite of them and in spite of themselves. And if you cannot see yourself still choose to love them anyway, you don't truly love that person. And if you don't truly love that person, you really shouldn't be planning on marrying them. There's that. Also, too, you should be to a marriage you're full of yourself. You should be going to get independent counseling and you should be going to get independent counseling and premarital counseling when you're thinking about marrying one another, because you want to make sure that you're as whole as possible. Walk down that aisle and say our dues. Now, outside of marriage, whatever you're just in relationships or whatever, a lot of the same things apply. You need to be making sure that you're whole yourself before you enter into a relationship, because no one is going to be your panacea. No one can save you from your demons and things of nature except for yourself and God. And God ain't walked in over 2,000 or something years. We hung him up on the cross. So, he ain't coming back, to save us or whatever like that. He's going to come when the final revelation is revealed, but we don't know the time or the place when that's going to happen. So you have to save yourself, and you save yourself by being willing to, do an independent self-assessment of yourself, practice self-awareness. Read your Bible, pray, ask God to rip out old man or old that you and ask him to make you over. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, if any man be in Christ, he's a new creature. Old things have passed away. Ask God to pull out that old man and give you a new man so that you can be a better person for your relationship coming with your wife. Now, or ask him to do these things before you enter into those relationships. So what I'm saying is when you're thinking about a relationship, you first have to work on yourself. You need to make sure you're whole. And then as that relationship progresses, you need to make sure that you're whole headed into marriage. And then, should you decide to enter into marriage, you need to make sure that you are marrying someone who, despite the fact that they make you sick, they get on your nerves, you'll choose to love them anyway.
Yes, that was well said. So, Mr. Travis, what would you want to leave with the viewers with us tonight?
So basically, as Dee said as well, being whole. How do you be whole? You have to. I always tell people your core values is probably like the biggest thing that you're gonna actually like stand on. You know what I mean? And I'm to say this basically, I believe that if you want a successful relationship, if you want a successful life, if you want certain successes, you got to have 4 core values starting off with. These 4 core values, and I'm going to say them, then y'all can, do y'all thing after that. The first one is about having pride in yourself, believing in yourself, that confidence. Number 2 is to basically have a sense of purpose, like being able to know what your purpose is in life. You know what I mean? Like ask yourself that you should not wait until you get in a relationship with somebody to find your purpose, because your purpose is not to be with that person. Your purpose is to find your own purpose. And then if that person comes into your life, then y'all can help each other with the sense of purpose. Number 3 is leadership. Who do you have in your soul, and who do you have in your circle? When I say what does that mean? That means if you want something that you say you want, you got to make sure your leadership is even in that caliber. You can't say that you want to be a leader, or you want to be this if you don't have that in your own circle. The only way you're able to reach something is that you gotta be operating with those type of people. And the last but not least is family. Like literally family. Sometimes we may not have a mom and dad. We may not have that support system that we need, but we have people that may come into our lives, as Dee said, will come into our lives and be that mom for us, be that dad for us, be that big sister, be that big mom. I mean, that big brother for us. And that's all we need to get where we need to go. So my thing is that when you can feel those lacks, when you can fulfill those lives, when you can feel those core values, then you're now on the road to success, to actually be whatever you want to be in life, period.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I want to thank you guys for coming out and educating us and educating the viewers. And we're also, right now I'm speechless. It was a wonderful night. It was amazing, because I've learned a lot, as a young, I would call myself as a child, still going into adulthood. I still have a lot to learn, and I did indeed learn a lot tonight. And I hope the viewers learned a lot tonight. And I want to thank all the viewers for coming here and just sharing. The environment was wonderful, and I'm looking forward to having a talk with you guys in the future, because it was magnificent. I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you very much for coming out. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. It was a pleasure indeed to be here tonight. I've learned a lot, and I'm looking forward. And guys, I've missed you guys, because it's been a long break that I've been on. So I'm hopefully back. So, we're looking for Tuesdays, we're going to have business talk. On Thursdays, we have girl connection. And on Saturdays, we have the lovely men connection. Remember, TalkTruth Series, real talk, real people, live. Thank you very much for coming on, guys.
Thank you for having us.
And we're going to even end on a comedy note tonight. We're going to end it with a comedy.
I'm myself for people, bro God. I want to see if we could put on early curfew by 1 o'clock for Valentine days. Because me alone, as a man, want to put on Valentine days early by 1 o'clock. Because we have the money and most of we have a woman. If we carry the woman, then go out for Valentine days and treat them. I ask you, please, bro God, put on a early curfew. I don't know if we could put it on either with a 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Just put on that time. Because most of and me alone, most other man want to put on curfew by Valentine days. I really love that too. Yes, I'm not really love that. Because I know woman to sit down with Valentine days and give them money and buy them a ice cream and a cake. Yes, and a sweetie.
Hilarious. Hilarious. Look,
guys, enjoy the night.
We got to get
and thank you very
back.
much.
Travis is hilarious.
Yeah, that's